Welcome, everyone, to Oklahoma Sportscene. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Link, along with the Coach Gil Clown, the Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Director and Hall of Famer. Coach, it's football time, bowl season. How many bowls are we talking about now?
40 bowls, 80 of the 130. I guess did the other 50 coaches get fired?
They must, right? You have to.
Didn't go to a bowl game.
And to be eligible for a bowl, of course.
He's got to win 6 games or be in that category where somebody has to go to the game. There's 2 5 and 7s.
Wow.
Now you go 5 and 7. Do you want to play another week?
Man,
I don't know.
That's tough. We have a lineup of experts to talk about it all, though, including 2 outstanding writers, the Tulsa World, the longtime sports columnist. He's done a great job, Bill Haisten, and then Kelly Hines, who's also a 12-year veteran of the Tulsa World. They've both been covering all the different football schools in Oklahoma. Have a lot to add to the show for us, too.
Oh, and of course, we're going to have 2 Go football winners.
That's right.
Right here.
Yeah.
It's really good to have Bill Blankenship and Loren Montgomery to talk about their experience as state champion.
Bill Blankenship, of course, his Owasso Rams winning their 2nd gold ball in the last 3 years and their first undefeated season, history of Owasso High School. Then with Loren Montgomery, boy, they just keep winning. Is it 5 now?
5 out of 6.
Wow, 5 out of 6.
Booker T has that one. I want to.
That's right. He remembers that too. Yeah. And he's going to bring along one of his outstanding players, right? This young Presley kid.
Brennan Presley, the commit to Oklahoma State, who had an outstanding game, right, but his younger brother had a better game, I think. And
he was just named the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Oklahoma, so he'll be part of the show as well. And we'll catch up with Tulsa Oilers hockey coach Rob Murray. Got kind of shaky start, but he's kind of got him going the right way now.
They've scored some points of late. They have a lot of home opportunities in this first part of the season, and they want to take advantage of that. But, boy, I tell you what, on Christmas Day, they got to hop on that bus and go 26 hours.
To Utah, right?
Utah.
Wow. Before that, we hope you Oiler fans come out, though, on Thursday night. Our show, of course, airs on Wednesday, so tomorrow night, Thursday, December 19th. They'll be taking on that Utah team for the first time this season, playing 7:05 down at the BOK Center. So get out there and support the Tulsa Oilers. Then from Oklahoma City, Remington Park, Richard Linihan's made the trip across the state to wrap up their $400,000 springboard mile, the final weekend this past weekend of the long Remington Park thoroughbred season. Another great meet, a lot of big records there, and some things to talk about. It'll be fun with Richard, too.
Well, Richard, of course, has a plethora of knowledge from Remington Park and around the racing cycle.
Yeah.
And, boy, what a great year for Remington Park.
Some record numbers, too.
You bet.
Well, Coach, we can talk about some bowls now. You mentioned 40. Well, I think it's kind of interesting. The Big 12 Conference has 6 of their teams in bowl games. 5 of them will play ranked opponents. Some interesting matchups. We'll get in more detail when we talk with both Kelly and with Bill Haisten, but some interesting games. What one are you kind of looking at, Coach?
Well, I like the Iowa State Notre Dame game.
That is interesting.
That's really an interesting football game, I think.
December 28th, the Camping World Bowl in Orlando, Florida. And, of course, we're all pointing to the big one, December 27th, OSU Cowboys, Texas Bowl against a longtime old rival, Texas A&M. Then the big one, the college football playoff semifinals, number 4 Oklahoma, number 1 LSU, followed by number 2 Ohio State, number 3 Clemson.
And 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is great for us at the Tournament of Champions.
That's right. You play a championship that night.
That's actually during our break at 3 o'clock.
Perfect.
So it's fantastic.
So watch
what a great game. I think it's going to be super.
Watch Sooners upset LSU. They come out of the Tournament of Champions.
Absolutely.
More of a Tournament of Champions as well. So stay with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Right back to talk a lot of football with Kelly Hines and Bill Haisten of the Tulsa World.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Hey Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for it. Oh, hey Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Robertson Tire has been your local tire expert since 1962. Now at RobertsonTire.com, it's easier than ever to get a customized quote. And with our price match guarantee, you can be sure that you're getting the best price. For more information, visit RobertsonTire.com.
Well, it's bowl season, and to bring in the experts, can be happy to have with us Bill Haisten, our longtime sports columnist for the Tulsa World, 29 years of covering sports, and much younger Miss Kelly Hines, 12 years with the Tulsa World. But we couldn't find two better people to talk about all the football coming up. In fact, starting on the 20th of December, we're talking about 40 bowl games, 80 teams, only 130 teams playing football. It's a lot of bowl games, a lot of teams, Bill.
Crazy about that, too? 80 teams,
yeah.
And Nebraska ain't one of them for the third straight year. Isn't that amazing?
And Texas shouldn't be.
Well, probably not. I wonder what Texas's level of
they're back.
Interest.
Texas is back.
Kelly, some of your thoughts on these bowl schedules, the early bowls, of course, and almost looking forward to the 27th and 28th when our teams get rolling here.
Oh, man, I just love the bowl season.
Yeah.
Just Christmas is great, but I'd rather have the football. Obviously the college football playoff, that's what everyone's going to be really paying attention to, but OSU's bowl is super interesting too, playing Texas A&M. That's the 27th. Right. And, Iowa State, Notre Dame, that's one that I'd like to see.
That's maybe my favorite non-playoff game on the board is Iowa State, Notre Dame. That's a great opportunity game for the Big 12.
Yeah, December 28th.
Unbelievable opportunity game for Matt Campbell. But the OSU A&M game, Gundy's got a 4-game win streak over the Aggies, going back to their time in the Big 12. And what's interesting, too, now that we're 2 days away from National Signing Day, I'm telling you, it is uncanny how often it comes down to OSU versus Texas A&M on a Texas recruit. And it happens year after year, and it happened, OSU's going to sign 2 guys on Wednesday that were priority guys for A&M. So while the rivalry in a competition sense ended, it still goes on all the time in recruiting. So that's a really good game.
Well, as much as Oklahoma State recruits in Texas.
Sure.
I mean, they're going to run into them, and this will be interesting for Jimbo Fisher if he can get that thing turned around the right direction. Because there's a great expectation there.
All right, but I mean, you're in the SEC West, right? If A&M has a really good year, what are they? Third best team.
Third,
in the division?
Mm-hmm.
Third best. I mean, so 10 years, 70 million, is that what they gave him? 75 million?
Yeah, not bad.
Well, it's the payoff at the end.
I get it.
Big 12, this is now has placed at least 6 teams in the postseason now for 22 consecutive seasons. It's a matchup you already mentioned. Kelly, of course, we're looking forward to that Texas Bowl, Oklahoma State, Texas A&M. Then on Saturday, December 28th, Camping World Bowl Orlando. That's the Iowa State Notre Dame. And, of course, also the semifinal games with Oklahoma against LSU. The 31st of December, it's Kansas State against Navy. Boy, they've got some attention, that Army game. That's in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. The Alamo Bowl is Texas against Utah. Kind of interesting to see the team that OU thought they might not get by. Then January 1st, the team that OU beat in the championship, Baylor and Georgia, a heck of a bowl game too.
Oh man, all of those are really good ones. I really am intrigued by the Kansas State Navy one. Just having seen Navy, this season, how they, took it to TU pretty good, and obviously Kansas State beating OU. Those are 2 teams that I think match up pretty well together.
Bill, how about you in those?
Oh, I love K-State Navy because of the curveball that Navy throws every opponent with the style of play. Yeah. And like Kelly said, I mean, I would think maybe my favorite thing that TU has done in this decade is to get in a league with Navy. I just think it's awesome to be in a conference with Navy.
Especially division, playing up there every other year.
That's right. You go to Annapolis.
Yeah.
That's special. Talk about your guys' coverage. How many different teams did you cover during this football season? And you too, Kelly.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean,
I had 16 or 17 games, I think, to this point. And most of those were TU road games or OU road games, and I had 3 OSU games. So went to a lot of different stadiums, and that's probably the coolest part of the season, places I hadn't been before. Right. Michigan State was pretty cool. Yeah. So I don't even know how many teams I wound up seeing. There were quite a few.
No,
how about you, Bill?
Well, I mean, let's see. I think I had 7 OU games, 4 Oklahoma State games. I covered, you know, one of the more interesting games I covered this year, though, was Tulsa beating UCF on a Friday night, which, you know, oh, you were there with, yeah. You know, and I went to the stadium that night thinking, it's a Friday game. It's going to be up against high schools. It's going to be a tiny crowd, no heat, no, it was, oh yeah, we got to throw UCF under the bus too. It was 45 degrees that night and no wind. It was a really nice evening. They had, how many heaters did they have on the sideline? Like 6, like industrial straight blower.
And they were using them. They weren't just there. They were using the heaters.
That was embarrassing. But no, I mean, that's the beauty of our jobs is, you know, Cotton Bowl one week and Manhattan the next, and Stillwater the next.
Kelly, you had the story on the University of Tulsa deciding to retain Coach Montgomery, and talk some about that and the decision and thoughts on that.
You know, I think things were trending in the right direction, and being close in a lot of games. You know, I think that was probably a main factor.
Winning 2 of the last 3.
2 of the last 3. You know, should have beaten SMU, should have beaten Memphis. You know, but being competitive, I think those were some encouraging signs, especially when you look at all that they're going to have back on offense, especially. You know, I think that there was enough there to, you know, keep Phillip and see how it goes next season. But that kind of sets the stage for another pressure-filled year. So I think you got to see some more improvement on offense.
I just think the message from the university last year was it's got to look better.
Yeah.
And it did. It looked a lot better. I don't know. I mean, Kelly and I have talked about this. If you try to quantify it, they look 50% better overall than they did a year ago.
It's just if it doesn't translate to wins, that's
okay.
Should have beaten Memphis and SMU.
Yeah.
I mean, what can the coach do when you drive the ball into the center of the field for a chip shot field goal to get a walk-off win over Memphis and you don't convert? And
then you go recruit a kicker to your next signing
Well,
day.
didn't they get a commitment the next day from a kicker?
Good,
they did.
Imagine, I think he can play, obviously.
well,
but yeah, and they did play better, I think. But I don't know. You know, from a coaching standpoint, I'm not sure that they did anything different. They just continue to work at what they're doing, I think.
Well,
and the kids improved.
Okay, but when I say coaching too, I think it's impossible to overstate how impressive it was that they didn't quit.
Yeah, I think
because they got their hearts ripped out.
And I think that's what tells you volumes that they didn't quit. And then he made that statement. He said these kids were playing as hard as they did when we started 2-a-days. So and that means they bought into what Phillip was selling, I think.
Heisen Trophy presented last weekend, and no surprise, of course, and well-deserved. Joe Burrow, the great LSU quarterback who set a record of that. Jalen Hurts was second in the voting as the 2 Ohio State kids. Their quarterback, Justin Fields, they're a great defensive player. Chase Young split the votes there, but I think more of our conversation was who wasn't there. And your thoughts about Chuba Hubbard and his future.
I mean, I was just surprised to see him that low. I thought, you know, maybe he was just on the outside of getting invited and to finish 8th. That's a little bit surprising, but I think a lot of people have Heisman votes who probably don't need to have Heisman votes.
I agree with that.
Well, there's too many voters, period.
Well,
almost, what, 900? About 900 voters. Yeah. And did you see how many of them voted before the championship games?
That's just ridiculous.
If you do that, first of all, there shouldn't even be that option that you can submit the vote before the championship games. So, no, Chuba Hubbard had a special year.
Will he play in the bowl game? Will he come back?
I think so. I mean, he's practicing with them.
Good.
I mean,
good.
So, I mean, he said on Twitter yesterday, you know, fake news and don't believe what you're. I mean, come on, man.
Because
you're
guys
practicing.
want to announce their news.
Yeah.
I think as much as anything else, they don't want to be scooped by someone. They want to.
You know what? If I'm Oklahoma State, I'm going to say, you know what, Chuba, we're going to go ahead and announce your plan because we're trying to sell bowl tickets here.
Yes.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
But I think he'll play. I hope he does. He's 6. He could be by halftime. He could be at 2,000 yards. He needs 64 yards to get to 2,000. I think that's a monumental number. Now I don't think he's coming back next season.
Right.
But I hope he plays with the ball, and I hope he gets 2,000.
Kelly, you were at Arkansas for the TU Arkansas basketball game. They introduced their coach of the crowd there, Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman, kind of a surprise to a lot of people, the former Georgia offensive line coach. Your thoughts on how the Arkansas fans
He walked in and fans knew who he was. I thought that was a good sign. He just looks kind of like a face of the crowd type guy, but he was high-fiving everybody, and then he, you know, had a little message during a timeout, and he said, you guys are going to be happy that I'm the coach. So, okay, we'll see.
How could that program fall that that far. Just hard to imagine.
Oh my gosh!
Really, I thought Chad must be a great coach for them.
I think I figured since Bobby Petrino tipped that motorcycle over, their record in conference play is something like 13-51. I hope I'm right about that. But
Chad
I know
it's Chad Morris was 0 for the SEC for his 2 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, he got beat by San Jose. He got beat by North Texas. Western Kentucky trucked them. And somebody else in the group of 5 at TU didn't.
Not TU.
TU should have a couple of times this decade.
We have some of Miss Kelly for being with us here.
We do for Kelly, not for Bill. We already given Bill.
Bill's coming next segment too. We'll get Bill in. Enjoy it, Kelly. Thanks for Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. We're keeping Bill around because we have some gold balls to talk about here with the high school football champions. He's going to talk with Bill Blankenship, our 6A1 champion of the Owasso Rams. Stay with us. Straight ahead.
The service is amazing.
Food's delicious.
I love the avocado fries.
I love the energy.
Local beer, great food, truly friendly service.
Look all right for you?
Bricktown Brewery, come and get it.
Winston, tie or bow tie? Good choice.
Sammy, they're here.
Good morning, welcome to Don.
Come on, you guys. What did you think they were here for?
Well,
it's the Honda Summer Spectacular Sales Event going on now at Don Carlton Honda.
We want to welcome the 6A1 high school football champions of Oklahoma. This is, of course, Bill Blankenship, head coach of the Owasso Rams, finishing a perfect season. And staying with us for another segment here, Bill Haisten, because he was at that state championship game when they defeated Jenks 14-6. First, Bill, congratulations on another gold ball. And you've got to have collecting these things, don't you?
Chris, I'm telling you, they just so proud of our guys to make the run that they did and to fight through and grind through and to finish with the undefeated record is a huge deal. I'd take those any way we can get them, but that's even more special.
Bill, I saw you there at UCO covering the game, of course.
Yep. It was a unique victory and game for Coach Blankenship in that, as I understand it, they literally were out of running backs.
It was
unusual.
Yeah, it was unusual.
Had no running backs left. Yeah. Okay, tell me if this is close.
Okay.
That you guys are during a timeout maybe or going over possible plays you can run, and you're like, well, we've never done this with these guys. We've never tried that with these guys. It wiped out like 2/3 of your options on your play calls, and you had to.
Well, we were to the point at the, we'd lost Isaiah Jacobs earlier in the year, and so clearly, and then we had a group of guys playing, and Derek Overstreet got hurt in the very first series. The next guy up, Hagen Hood, went down in the second series. He was also our punter and kicker.
Oh, that's right.
So it kind of created all kinds. And we had Imad and Mario that had prepped for short yardage work, but that's about 4 plays. Right. And we had a whole bunch that we wanted to run that we weren't able to. So it was a little interesting.
So you had a vanilla offense and still won the
state championship. A little more vanilla at the end. We found a way, and we have a really smart quarterback who's coaching them up. Hayden Beeman, who's down the list for us running back, came in and got some key carries for us and did a great job.
But think about what he was up against that night. A Jenks team that would have been motivated anyway.
Sure.
But this game is played 6 days after the passing of Coach Trimble.
Well, the emotion.
No doubt. And then, Jenks came out on the first play, and nearly scored.
Absolutely.
Just overthrew
they had a little double move with their tight end and had a great play. And I just barely missed it. And, as Bobby Klink and I talked about, because we've been on the other side of those games where, you just barely miss or kind of glad to be on this side of it a couple of times.
That's right. And that for Bill is 5 championships in his last 6 high school seasons. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I actually have kind of 6 gold balls, 3 from Union High School, right?
Yeah.
1 at Fayetteville, Arkansas, 1 year there, now 2 at Owasso. What a string.
And it's a great run, but people don't talk about going in 88 with Spyro and getting beat, 94 with Union and getting beat,
the coaches always remember those.
And getting beat, 99 and getting beat, and 2000 and getting beat. So it all balances out right now. I've just stayed long enough to, flip the coin.
I don't know if you've ever recovered from 98.
Probably not. So that's, those are the things that come up, especially when we go back to Alan Trimble.
Yeah.
And you guys printed his 5 most memorable wins. Well, 4 of them, I was the victim. So I have to appreciate that a little bit.
Well, some great memories, of course, and I also want to congratulate you. Channel 8, their Ford Awards, they do every year and recognize the top high school players. But first time ever, they've named the Coach of the Year, and it was named for Alan Trimble, and went to you. So
again, more emotion on a week that was already kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because, what more could we say about Coach Alan Trimble, but the legacy that he had left behind, and then to be able to receive an award that honestly, I know personally they got to court and talked to Courtney and the family just to make sure they would be okay with having a legacy award like that. And I'm so glad that they wanted to do that, and that I get to be affiliated at some level. But he, a dear friend, and he left this place better than he found it, no doubt.
Well, season's over.
Yep.
What do you got coming back?
Isn't that the way it goes?
It is.
You got to go.
Wow.
The hard part is the guys that we have to replace are going to be next to impossible. But we have a lot of returners. We actually only started 2 seniors on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
So we got a lot of guys that got playing time. But we lose a really good quarterback in Cole Duggar, and our tight end was maybe the best I've ever been around, Mario Kirby.
Yeah.
Averaged almost 25 yards a catch from a tight end position.
Wow.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But so we've got a good nucleus that we'll be able to build on. Defensively, going to take a little bigger hit. Lose 3 of the 4 in the secondary, and 3 of the 4 up front. Got 2 great linebackers back, and a safety that's played a lot, and a defensive tackle that's pretty special.
When you took that job, though, I mean, it takes to become a consistent contender. It takes the whole town's got to buy in. It's not just whatever kids you've got in the program at that time. I mean, it's really a community buy-in, right?
There's no question.
Has that aspect of it surprised you at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I'd heard so many good things about the Owasso community, but having never really experienced that side of it. This is still small town America grown up a little bit, and they have all the values of Mayberry, but literally have the resources and the vision to have the very best of the best when it comes to high school and public school and the bond issues that they've passed and the things that they've done to give us not just a chance in athletics, but I think to get our kids in a position to get great education.
Now you got, after your first championship, you got that unbelievable scoreboard, video board in the one end. So what from a facilities or upgrade standpoint, maybe next at Owasso?
There's not a lot for us.
Oh, yeah.
No, because
you already have an indoor facility, right?
Well,
the north end facility is as good as there is.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
The end zone that we get to use has been a part of the baseball and track, and everybody's used it for years.
Yeah.
But we did go in and turf it wall to wall a year ago, which gave us another workable space.
And that weight room was incredible.
Weight room. I mean, we're blessed. We're gonna be upgrading some of the freshman locker room, or not locker rooms, but the weight facilities and some of those things. But our folks have taken great care of us. There is nothing we got to have.
Well, we got to ask the question
because
your state senator has put it out there.
Yeah,
sure did.
And we talked to Loren, and Loren really liked going to Edmond.
Yeah.
What's your feeling about single site?
Well, first of all, there's kind of a double-edged deal. I don't want to go against our senator.
Absolutely.
But I also don't want the legislature to start getting in the OSSAA business. I really don't. I think there's 4 schools, 4 communities, I would say, that were disappointed in the process. The coach the football team was not disappointed with what we experienced at Wantland. I think they did a great job. I think they did an awesome deal. But I also understand there was probably 30 buses that went over to Edmond that if it could have been local, it would have been an easier thing. I'm of the mindset that I'm just telling you, when you get a chance to play, I don't care if I've got to go to, you know, to Stroud to play out on the old parking lot, you know. And I just say that. I mean it with all I have. I appreciate Mr. Dossett's passion and what our community does, but I'm not going to get
Bill,
that.
That was great.
Yeah,
I did. I like the idea of stacking championship games at one side. I wrote about it a year ago. You know, we can't replicate what they do in Texas. It's impossible. We don't have a dome stadium. But I thought UCO, from a size standpoint, amenities. I was at 4 or 5 of the 4 games, I think. McGinnis, Carl Albert drew well. The 6A1 game drew pretty well. The Bixby Stillwater game was off the charts. I would like to see it stay there, and I think it's a perfect, you know, and it's 2 hours from Owasso. Come on. And we're not talking about driving from Beaumont to Arlington. It's
we have some of the 2 of you guys here being part of the show here.
You guys take each other to Bricktown.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
And Bill, thank you for joining us for a couple of segments.
You owe me.
For a couple of segments here, and we'll be right back with another gold ball. Loren Montgomery, with one of his key players, going to be here to talk about the Bixby Spartans 6A2 championship. Right ahead on Oklahoma Sportscene.
It's back, January 13th to the 18th, all under the giant roof of the River Spirit Expo Center. The 34th running of the Lucas Oil Chilliwack Nationals, presented by General Tire. Monday and Tuesday reserved seats are on sale now by calling 918-838-3777 or get yours at the event. The world's best drivers in an all-out mudslinging war for the Golden Driller. Can't make it for the whole week? Get your General Edition pit pass at the event and find seating all along the back straightway. For more information, prices, and details, log on to chilibowl.com.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brewhouse? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
I bring Tulsa's voice to Oklahoma City and Washington. I build relationships with elected officials and community stakeholders to develop policies that grow the Tulsa region. I loved my time at Rider State University. The personal relationships I developed with professors really helped develop a skill set that would help me serve the Tulsa region that I care about. It all started for me at Rider State University.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sportscene. We have 2 special guests, 2 state champions. We got Loren Montgomery, who's the head football coach at Bixby High School, and his star player, the Gatorade Player of the Year, Brennan Presley. Welcome to Sportscene.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Congratulations again, another title. This is 5 of the last 6 years they've had that gold ball in the Bixby Showcase there. That sure was an easy win, though, wasn't it, over Stillwater High? What a game that was. Wow, what a championship. Talk about that final. Wow.
No, it was everything I think people anticipated going into that game. You saw the Tulsa World articles and all that, and it was a nail biter. It definitely took a few years off of my life, but I tell you what, you know, going into a championship game, that's what you expected.
40-36, Bixby overcame, thanks in large part to this young man, the senior Brennan Presley, outstanding player and the Gatorade Player of the Year in Oklahoma. Brennan, talk about, I guess, first that pedal punt return. Set that one up for us.
I mean, they kicked it to me earlier in the game, and I didn't take it back. So when they gave me another chance, I felt like he would give me a chance because he had been kicking it deep the whole game. So I just needed to make a play, and luckily I did that.
It was 98 yards on the punt return. He also had 19-yard touchdown pass reception. And for the year, 82 receptions, 1,398 yards, and 23 touchdowns. And on his way to an Oklahoma State Cowboy. Talk about that. You excited about that? Talk about your recruiting experience, and why did you pick OSU?
You know, growing up in Oklahoma, you know, it's either OSU or OU. So, you know, I grew up an OSU fan and always admired them and the things they did. And I just think the way they play, the way they throw around and use the slots, and, you know, people of my skill set, I think it was a really great fit for me. And, you know, the recruiting has been amazing. They treat me like family and everything else, along with my family and the rest of them, you know, so they take care of me. and they show a lot of love and everything, and I really like it.
Everybody talks about this, but they say we knew we were going to win. And when you're down like that, what is that inside that you feel like you're going to win?
Down in the state championship?
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, I was not thinking, hey, we're going to come back from this. At that time, it was really more of just let's stop the bleeding and then let's focus on what we can do. I mean, we knew they were a good team coming in. So when they did that, it was, we need to get back to the bases. I mean, because after 17-3, I mean, they didn't score again until the fourth quarter. So we knew our defense and had it in us, and offense just had to get back on track. So we knew we just had to get ourselves together.
Talk about the winning play. That was his younger brother that made the winning touchdown to give Bixby the goal ball.
Yeah, no, I tell you, we had made one of the biggest plays of the game. The play before that, Mason Williams, our junior quarterback, did a great job reading the progression on one of our pass routes and threw a curl to Luke Krieger, and Luke just made a phenomenal play, picked up a bunch of extra yardage, and, in the midst of a state championship game with all the excitement, the fans, we went ahead and fastballed him and got lined up in an empty formation, and we tried to go ahead and tempo them, and they gave it to us, and the quarterback snapped the ball, and we put it on Braylon, lined up out at the slot wide receiver, and he got just phenomenal blocking from Luke Krieger and the wide receivers out there, and was able to make a big play to get us in the zone to, I guess not necessarily ice a game, but to go ahead and give us a lead again with a couple minutes.
Yeah, 104.
104.
Left to play in that game. My gosh, Coach. Unbelievable. Also faced a pretty decent quarterback, right? Talk about Gunnar Gundy, your impressions of the Stillwater High School quarterback. Of course, obviously, Coach Gundy's son, Oklahoma State head coach.
He was very much improved from last year, and I mean, like, he made throws, and even when he missed throws, it wasn't by much. It was really great defensive plays by our guys. So he was just, better. He's better in shape, better throwing the ball and everything else, and better at reading coverages and everything. So he was probably one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback we played all year.
234 yards passing. Gunnar had 3 touchdowns in the championship game.
Not a bad day.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because there's been a lot written about this. There's been letters to the editor, and a state legislator now is going to champion a bill that if 2 schools are close to each other, they don't have to go to Edmond. How was your Edmond experience at UCO?
It was phenomenal, and I was kind of one of the guys that said we need to zero in on one championship side, and my main function in doing that was that they don't play 5 different state championship games on the same day, the same time for the Oklahoma football fan. You need to be able to get out, and those Oklahoma football fans need to be able to watch the other games. For instance, I want to catch the Owasso Jinx game, the championship game, or I want to catch the 5A game, and those things. And so if we weren't going to do it at one site, and I've seen some of the things in the paper, I think it's very, very important that you play them at different times. But ultimately, UCO was great for us. It was a great location. Of course, Bixby and Stillwater are both one-horse towns, and so we traveled extremely well, and I thought the environment was very good.
Well, that's good, because I think there's some of them, I really talking about the old Owasso Jinx, being right here in this area. But, if you stop and think about it, we do that in basketball. The 5A, 6A has always been, well, for the last 7 years, been at the Mabee Center.
Right.
And everybody knows you want to go, and the small schools want to go to the big house down on the state fairgrounds. So, I think it's great for football. I think it's great for the media because they can go to one location. It's like Barry said, he just camped out in Edmond for the 2 days. I think that's great for our kids because they get that exposure.
I think it's great whether they chose the University of Tulsa as a location or Central Oklahoma or bounce back and forth between the sites. I think either would be great, but I think it was really nice playing all the different state championship games at different times.
Talk about losing this young man, hard to replace somebody like him. But it's nice to see you have a junior quarterback coming back, and of course his younger brother coming back as well for 2020 for the Spartans.
Well, I think Brennan has nearly 5,000 all-purpose yards over his career, so replacing that, isn't going to be done simply by 1 or 2 guys. It's going to take a lot of players, and Brennan's been so special, not only on offense, but interceptions over the last couple of years on defense. He's a lockdown corner, and then special teams, as we saw in the state championship game with big kickoff returns. But no, we've got some good young guys coming back, and we're going to have a lot of different guys step up. And that's a beautiful thing about high school football. Each year you lose some good players, and you have to see what your complexion is going to be, and you have to kind of tailor your team to the talent you have coming back.
6A2, you'll stay there for the next 2 years, looks like, right? With set up with all the working with the number of students and stuff. And
yeah, the ADM, the official ADM recently came out, and we are the 17th team, so we're the largest 6A2 team now. But just kind of forecasting and looking out, I think probably we will be close again on the next ADM with Deer Creek growing, some of the smaller schools in 6A1 growing, with a couple of our incoming 7th and 8th grade groups. So it should be interesting to see kind of how it all pans out. But yeah, we'll be down again in 6A2, and hopefully can get some scheduling done here before too long.
We have some for you here, Coach, for us.
You bet.
Can't get one to you, Brennan. Don't mess up your eligibility.
We don't want you to be ineligible at Oklahoma State before you get there.
That's right.
But Loren, go to Bricktown on us.
Absolutely. I love Bricktown.
You guys are going to run down a few more championships. Want to congratulate these state champions just completed this past weekend. Class 2A, Metro Christian, 42 over Viand, 34. Metro Christian finished the 15 in those season. Their quarterback, Asher Link, accounted for 406 yards, had 6 touchdowns. They get their first gold ball. Class A, Ringling upsetting Cashin. That was 20-14. Class B, 8-man football. Shattuck beat Regent Prep 24-19. They finished 14 of those, Shattuck did. Class C, Pond Creek Hunter, 54, Winoka, 8. The Oklahoma Sportscene, Michael Knight, with some highlights and features in there as well for us on this too. But guys, thanks so much for taking the time to join us on Sports Scene. Congratulations again to the Bixby Spartans. Congratulations to Gatorade Player of the Year and Oklahoma State Cowboy. Well done, Brennan. Proud of you guys. We're going to come right back with a special guest again, our Oilers hockey coach, Rob Murray, to talk about the Oilers. Stay with us.
Hey, Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey, Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for it. Oh, hey, Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brewhouse? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
Robertson Tire has been your local tire expert since 1962. Now at RobertsonTire.com, it's easier than ever to get a customized quote. And with our price match guarantee, you can be sure that you're getting the best price. For more information, visit RobertsonTire.com.
Welcome back on Oklahoma Sportscene. Always good to have with us back the head coach of the Tulsa Oilers hockey team, Rob Murray here. And Coach, you guys got to turn things around, but it's good hockey right now.
Yeah, we got off to I would say a poor start of the season, but we've kind of righted the ship a little bit here lately. Putting more games together, we still haven't had that real good streak yet. Like got on a hot streak, right. And so we're played better this weekend. We've been playing better the last couple of weeks. Even a couple of games that we lost, I liked the way we played, and could have went either way. And so for me, we're on the right track. Picking up points here and there, and keeping pace.
Is that an unusual scheduling where you have the same team 3 nights in a row?
Well, you can go back to last week. We were in Wichita on Saturday. That was our last game, and then we played them 3 times this week. So that's 4 in a row. This week we play Utah at home on Thursday, but we're in Wichita on Friday. So that's 5 of the last 6 games that we played Wichita. So it is. You don't see that often, but sometimes it's just they throw all those games together like that.
As we tape the show on Monday, they're just coming off winning 2 out of 3 in the homestand against Wichita, beating them 5-3. I blew my mind. I read this in the paper the other day. Outshot them, Coach, 22-4 in the 3rd period. Wow.
Well, we're a big. I'm a big fan of getting a lot of shots on net, and I think the higher you go up, the less shots, because it's more of a looking for the right shot. But I think at this level, for me, any shot's a good shot. So we had 51 total, and 22 were in the third period. And so we were down 3-2 going in the third period, and we really came out strong and pulled the game out in the third period on Sunday.
Well, that's a lot of shots. You know, the last hockey game I played as a goaltender was in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah.
I had 42 saves, and we won 2-1.
Nice. Well, you know, like I know last year we led the league in shots for and shots against. You know, I think it was like 23 against, and we were upwards of close to 40 a night for. So, you know, I like those stats. As I say, I'm a big shot guy. I like that. One of the things that I always say, shots lead to shots. And by saying that, what I mean is that there's always going to be a rebound for the most part. So that shot's going to lead to another shot, and you put the puck to the net, and good things happen.
Last home game of the 2019 half of the season is coming up Thursday. It's tomorrow night. We show airing on Wednesday as they'll host Utah 7:05 at the BOK, and you're playing with Utah, playing them quite a bit too.
Not yet this season, but you know, we'll see them quite a bit coming up.
That's right.
We play them Thursday this week, and then we are in right after Christmas. We're in Utah for 3, the 27th, 28th, and 30th, I believe. So right after we're actually have to leave Christmas Day night to get there in time.
And 2020 starts with 6 games at the BOK. Coach, nice to be on home ice Friday, Saturday, January the 3rd and the 4th. Idaho at 7:05. This is a Sunday 4:05 game with that same Idaho team. Then Kansas City comes back in on January the 10th. On the 11th, it's Utah, and on the 12th, Wichita again on a 4:05 game. So a lot of home ice coming up in January for the fans.
Yeah, and it's funny because I haven't looked at the schedule tight enough to see when we're going to play all these road games, because it seems like we've been at home the whole year so far. So and I think it's time, obviously, to start taking care of business at home and winning our home games. I think we're a game above 500 or 2 games above 500 right now at home, which, you know, it's not where you want to be. And so we got to be better at home and get our road record up too.
Early in the season, then you've got some new players. How are they acclimating to coming to Tulsa and playing in the EHL?
Really good. I mean, we had a couple of guys that were down early in the season that are back up in the American League that were big producers for us. Hopefully we'll see them at one point or another for the rest of the year. We got 2 guys called up this morning, one to San Antonio, one to San Diego. So we have actually right now, we have a lot of guys up. But for the most part, the guys that came down at the beginning of the year, everybody was, you know, pretty excited to be here, and it's nice to see that both San Diego and San Antonio are seeing the value of sending guys here, even if it's only for a week or 2, just to get their legs, get their games in.
Well, hope all the fans got there to support the Tulsa Oilers. That's tomorrow night, Thursday night, 19th. They'll be on the ice, 7:05, taking on Utah. And Coach, thanks for being with us. Wish you a very Merry Christmas, you and the Oilers. And how long is the bus ride to Utah? When do you leave?
Well,
that night, right?
we're leaving at 10 o'clock on the 25th that night. It's anywhere between 22 to 26 hours, depending on the weather and how many pee stops you got to make. So we'll trudge. The good thing about that is I gave the guys fair warning that if coming off the Christmas break, if they wanted to fly to Utah and basically on their own dime, they're welcome to. So I think. Actually, going out to Utah, there's myself and maybe 3 other guys going to be on the bus. So
Can't you fly, Coach?
Well, yeah.
I know. We have some
you want to buy me a ticket?
We have something else for you, though.
Well, we'll buy your dinner.
We'll buy your dinner.
Breakdown. There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you again, Coach.
Rob Murray, head coach of the Tulsa Oilers, got there to support him. And again, when 2020 starts, we'll have a 6th game at the BOK to start the year. So we got there to support the Tulsa Oilers. Right back with our Remington Race Report. Stay with us.
At Robertson Tire, we'll match any deal you find on tires, but customer service remains at the core of our business. That's why we've been voted the very best in all 3 major area publications. Thank you for choosing Robertson Tire for all your auto care needs.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Boundary, and here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jinx, District Gazette, and then of course the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Well, it's all over at Remington Park. The final weekend of Thoroughbred Race Meet of 2019 just completed. And our good friend Richard Linihan, who's their Assistant Director of Communications and a longtime friend of ours, a horse racing advocate here, certainly with us, has made the trip from Oklahoma City to kind of wrap the show with us and setting up what was an incredible finish, the Springboard Mile. Let's first set the field. What a field of great horses.
It was. We had trainers of the top 2-year-olds in the country coming in from everywhere. We had Wesley Ward, who's always great with 2-year-olds. Steve Asmussen had 3 horses
Hall of Famer.
in, right? National Hall of Famer, Oklahoma Racing Hall of Famer as well. Also now the all-time leading trainer at Remington Park. It took him this long to do it.
Yeah.
He won his first training title ever at Remington Park in 1991. So he said this place is really special to him.
That's great.
He passed Donnie Von Hemel, who had the lead forever.
Yep.
And now he leads him by 2 wins.
That's good. Local horses, 2 local horsemen. My good friend Lee Levinson, his son, had a horse in there.
That's right. They had Rowdy Yates, who had won 2 Oklahoma Classics or Oklahoma Bred Stakes races earlier in the meet. Looked like he had a good chance to do well in here, but he got hooked on the front end in a speed duel and just gave it up late. I think he finished 7th.
Betting favorites for the race before we take a look at it?
Betting favorite was Answer In. Brad Cox had a horse in there. Gosh, there's one other that I can't remember right off the top of my head, but these are nationally known trainers, really well. Trainers very strong in the 2-year-old fields. So it was going to be a battle, and it proved to be just that.
The Springboard Mile, $400,000 purse. Let's pick up the race call with Dale Day.
Outside to number 12, Slutang Clan. They're all in. They're off in the Springboard Mile. Rowdy Yates came away sharply, likewise for alternate time at the rail, and alternate time puts a nose up front. Emboldened, shoplifted, and firing on. Maximiliano 5 wide to the turn. Is a very wide leader, but here comes Rowdy Yates, an alternate time to battle as well. Emboldened the gray, takes back in 4th now. We'll move over to save ground. Answer In is 5th, a length better, then shoplifted a wide 6th. Jungle Runner inside 7th, 6th from the front as they go to the back stretch. Then it is Southgate, 5 clear. Shipman, Song, Hercules, and Slutang Clan at the back, 14 from the front. 23.49 seconds moving along for the opening quarter. On the back stretch, Rowdy Yates there by ahead. Alternate time to the inside 2nd. Maximiliano is now 3rd. Just over half mile to go, and Bolden 4th, 2 clear of Answer In. Shoplifted is 6th, 5 off the lead. Then Jungle Runner, and then Southgate, another 5 to Shipman Song, Slutang Clan, Hercules now your trailer, 10 from the front. Half mile at 47.75 seconds as they go to the far turn in the Springboard. Rowdy Yates still there. Alternate time inside. Now Maximiliano ready to challenge. Farther out, Emboldened 4 wide, trying to move up. Answer In is wide. Likewise for Shoplift coming along. Nowhere to go for Jungle Runner. At the quarter pole, it is Emboldened now by a nose over Maximiliano. Wide run coming on. Here's Shoplifted. Shoplifted slingshotting off the turn to the stretch. It's Emboldened on the front. Shoplifted 2nd. Answer In trying to find a path with a furlong to go. Race on in the Springboard. Emboldened digging in, trying to fend off both Shoplifted and Answer In. Shoplifted gets a nose up there. Here's Answer In. Shoplifted outside. Answer In inside. Shoplifted gets the Springboard Mile by Bobby Nose over Answer In. Emboldened a hard-fought 3rd. Distant 4th to Jungle Runner.
Oh, now that is a horse race. Let's take a look at that finish again and the photo finish, and what a finish, huh?
Yeah, Shoplifted outlasted them all. He's a horse by Into Mischief. Into Mischief is a sire that has produced 370 runners this year,
wow.
And 217 of them have won races. And they've earned more than $18 million. He's the leading sire in the country, and he is the daddy of Shoplifted. So, well bred.
Shoplifted wins the mile, the Springboard Mile by a head. Incredible performance. Congratulations to the connections there, including our friend trainer Steve Asmussen, right?
That's right. Steve always is competitive. That was his 6th Springboard Mile win in its history, so he knows how to get 2-year-olds ready and to the gate for that.
And it was a great night at Remington Park at the windows, too.
That's right. There was a new record set Sunday with $3.6 million bet.
Ooh, wow.
From people at our track, at the OTB, and around the country, all added together, $3.3 million. And I came very close to winning 10,000 of that.
Yeah,
myself.
we have to hear Richard Lenny. He's a heck of a handicapper as well. Does a lot of the handicapping at Remington Park. Had the pick 6 cold. You're going to the last race, number 6 on the card. You got 5 winners. You have the key ones. Finish the story, Richard.
Oh my gosh!
Break my heart.
So I'm 5 for 5, and then one of the horses that I had in the pick 6 was paid $40. Steve Asmussen horse with Ricardo Santana on it, and they had put blinkers on her, equipment change, and she just goes off and win. I'd picked her on top, and she won, paid $40. So she was in my pick 6, and there weren't very many people with live tickets at the end when I was 5 for 5. I used my top 2 selections in the race, 2 millionaire horses. Shotgun Cowboy and Looking at Lee, and my 3rd pick wins the race. And the pick 6 paid $14,000.
And you didn't pick that one because your ticket was?
Well, it was $78 already, my bet, and I didn't want to spend another $25 to bet 100. But if I had $10,000 my way, so I didn't sleep last night.
We have to make him feel better, though, don't we?
Well, you do, and you can eat on us free at Brick.
Well, that makes up for the whole deal right there. $10,000.
And even better, Bricktown has a restaurant right there at Remington Park.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we're going to make Richard work for this. He's coming back in our 2nd show. We're going to have our Christmas night show. Richard's going to be here to wrap up all of the Remington Park meet, talk about the candidates for the horse of the meet, some of the outstanding figures, some great racing meet, and look ahead to 2020 racing at Remington Park. Thanks for joining us again, Richard.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. We'll get right back. Gil and I have our parting shots. Stay right with us.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Remington Park is now officially open around the clock. That's right, we are 24/7.
We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight.
So when we say the party never ends, you better believe it. Remington Park, now open 24/7.
Hey, Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey, Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for it. Oh, hey, Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
It's back, January 13th to the 18th, all under the giant roof of the River Spirit Expo Center. The 34th running of the Lucas Oil Chillable Nationals, presented by General Tire. Monday and Tuesday reserved seats are on sale now by calling 918-838-3777 or get yours at the event. The world's best drivers in an all-out mudslinging war for the Golden Driller. Can't make it for the whole week? Get your General Edition pit pass at the event. Find seating all along the back straightway. For more information, prices, and details, log on to chilibowl.com.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Well, let's wrap things up with our usual parting shots, and Coach Cloud starts us off.
Well, I want to congratulate Chuba Hubbard. You know, last time I got on him about it, he was thinking about he might not play in the bowl game. He might just go on. And I made the statement. I said, you know, Oklahoma State had paid for your education for the last 3 years. Room, board, books, tuition, the whole bit. And now he's decided that he's going to. And I want to congratulate him, and I want to congratulate his coach for making that happen. I think more of our student athletes need to make a commitment when they go and join a team. We have too many I and me people in this world. We need more we and us people. Congratulations, Joe. I hope you have a great game against Texas A&M.
Here's another sad sign of our times. The old venerable Sports Illustrated bi-weekly magazine has announced that it'll no longer publish bi-weekly. It'll go to a monthly. That's right. Starting in February of 2020, they'll cut back to a total of 16 issues of Sports Illustrated for the entire year. Good news is they will keep the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, which, by the way, was started in 1964. I remember well because I was a junior in high school. I love that issue. As SI admits, you'll love this statement, a 21st century print magazine is no longer a vessel for news and timely analysis. Sports Illustrated's first issue was published on August the 16th, 1954. It has over 3 million subscribers, estimated to be read by 23 million people, including 18 million men every magazine. The magazine says it is evolving and growing. I guess we'll have to as well. Sports Illustrated now down to monthly issues and just 16 for the entire year 2020. Coach, what do you think about that?
Well, I've been a subscriber for probably over 35 years.
Yeah.
And I've noticed the transition from the weekly to the bi-weekly. And the bi-weekly was not any bigger than a Mad comic book.
That's right, I know.
I mean, my gosh, and now this last one I got was a little bit fuller of information. I thought, my goodness, this thing is...
They did their Sportsman of the Year, or Sports Women of the Year, was Sports Person of the Year.
Sports Person. So, I don't like it, but I think that's the key, and I think the same thing's going to happen with newspapers.
Yeah, I'm glad to see at least they'll keep with him some great writers and great articles. Let them expand that some more and kind of fill those issues out. But again, Sports Illustrated goes to a monthly magazine starting in February of 2020. Coach, we got a big event coming up, your Tournament of Champions, and getting closer.
The 55th Annual Tournament of Champions will be the right after Christmas, the 26th, 27th, and 28th of December. We start at 9 o'clock each morning. We play 8 games a day, 2 sessions, 4 games, and then 4 more games each day. Tickets are available. You can go to the Maybe Center website, and there's a link where you can buy a preseason ticket, which is for $40. The regular cost would be $60. So you get a 33% discount for your purchase.
And for 55 years, they've held this tournament of basketball. But for the first year, we'll have esports.
We got the esport tournament. Ryan Boatwright is directing that, and you can just show up at the Maybe Center on the north end, buy a ticket to get in, go up the escalator, and they will direct you to the esport arena, which is inside of the Maybe Center. We're expecting over 200 to be in the esport championship tournament.
Well, thanks for joining us on Oklahoma Sportscene. I want to invite you to our Christmas show next week. We'll be on Wednesday night on Christmas night. We'll have a preview of the college football semifinals and talk some baseball. Bob Carpenter back from being the voice of the Washington Nationals, the World Series champions. Also have Wayne McCombs talking about the big Claremore Field of Dreams dinner. So a lot coming up, and Mick Wilson will be here to give you more of a preview of that big Tournament of Champions. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next on our Christmas show. So long, everyone.